The Seventh Amendment was ratified on December 15, 1791. James Madison created the Seventh Amendment out of fear that a second constitutional convention might be called in the right to a civil jury trial was not included in the Federal Bill of Rights. The Seventh Amendment states that in suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of a trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law.
The right to a jury trial is an essential part of a fair and just society. The Seventh Amendment is good for citizens because it allows them to hold corporations accountable for any harm they have caused. Without the Seventh Amendment, the ability to seek justice would not
Hank,
exist.
but if we're going to drill it down to its base level, it's basically allowing for someone involved in a civil case to have that case heard in front of a jury.
Right. That's exactly right. The idea is the government doesn't make decisions, fellow citizens make decisions. So in suits that have much value at all, we want to let a jury decide the issue as opposed to having a government magistrate decide the issue.
What would be an example of that, Peter? Something that somebody would be familiar with?
Well, let's say you have a case in which a private citizen is suing, for example, a corporation for negligence in designing an automobile or whatever, and you have a right, just as you would in a criminal trial, to bring in witnesses, testimony, evidence, and so forth, and to have a jury. Now, in many cases, defendants in civil cases waive a jury trial and allow a judge to decide it, particularly if there are complicated issues of law. But if there's a lot of money at stake, and keep in mind that some of these cases involve millions of dollars in potential damages, many lawyers feel that a jury is going to be more sympathetic to the defendant, particularly if they've been injured in some serious way.
The Seventh Amendment protects the right for the citizens to have a jury trial in federal courts with civil cases, where the claim exceeds a certain dollar value. The Seventh Amendment applies to all federal cases such as disputes over property, breach of contract, and personal injury.
As the Seventh Amendment involves civil cases. This applies only to federal cases, however. The Seventh Amendment is one of the few that has not been incorporated. That is, it has not been held by the Supreme Court to apply to the states. Nevertheless, most states do require a jury trial in at least some civil cases.
In the case of Dimmick v. Stite in 1935, Peter Stite and David Dimmick had gotten into an automobile accident to which Stite sued Dimmick for personal injury and negligence. The jury returned a verdict in favor of Stite, which awarded him the sum of $500 in damages. However, he found the award to be inadequate. Trial court ordered a new trial unless Dimmick agreed for the damage price to increase to $1,500. And though Dimmick agreed, Stite appealed to the conditions, after not being able to consent to the terms, stating that they violated his Seventh Amendment right to trial by jury. The Court of Appeals sided with Stite since court couldn't interfere with the verdict without the consent of the defendant. A key takeaway from this case is federal court does not have authority to increase or decrease jury damages awards. Furthermore, judges are restricted from overturning a jury's finding, meaning they can't disregard a jury's decision.
Another key case is Feltner v. Columbia Pictures Television from 1998. Feltner sued Columbia Pictures for using his copyrighted Jack Benny program in syndication without permission. The jury found infringement, but only the judge decided damages. The Supreme Court ruled that the Seventh Amendment does protect the right to a jury trial for both issues in copyright infringement cases. Key takeaways from this case were that the court confirmed the right to a jury trial in civil cases, including copyright infringement for both liability and damages, and a jury must decide not just whether a copyright was infringed, but also how much the plaintiff should be compensated.